talking about all kinds of interesting stuff that will fuel you with good life wisdom. We're going to talk about The Bachelorette. We're going to talk about what's going on with Jake Paul, question mark, exclamation point, sideways, confusey face. And we're going to talk about, what else are we have some YouTubers that Tara is recommending, because I want you guys to tell us what YouTubers you really admire next to us, because I know that we're first. And then second of all, who do you love and why should we talk about them? And we're interested in people that are making an impact and using their personalities and their voices to make positive change.
I've got one for you.
You got one?
When we get into it. Well, same person I talked about previously. What is this sigh you're giving me? Why is this? No, just when we talked about Jake Paul last week, I was like, oh, there's this guy, Ethan, and he's friends with Post Malone and the whole thing. But there's this. Okay, so basically, we're gonna dive right into this.
Yes, let's dive.
So there's this YouTube channel, H3H3 Productions, which is Ethan Klein and his wife, Eva Klein. And they do a lot of funny stuff. But there was this guy who I don't remember his real name, but he went by, there was this circumstance where he was at a public forum, a public hearing or something, and was sharing his mind, and this lady really did not like what he said, so she started kind of harassing him.
Kind of like Tara, the way Tara treats you?
Yeah. Except she also put a camera in his face.
Ooh.
And then she kept saying, "What's your name?" And he said his name was Hugh. And then she said, "What's your last name?" And he said, "Mungus," because he made a dad joke. And then she started saying that by saying that he was sexually harassing her, and started screaming that he was trying to rape her. And so it was this whole big fuss, and the video, she posted the video on her own because she thought she was in the right because she's crazy. This whole thing. And then it turns out Humongous needed some help, and so after Ethan made this video commenting on the whole situation, they set up a crowdfunding campaign for him. I think he had cancer. They made him they raised him a few $100,000. They bring him back on air every now and again. He's got a place to stay now.
And that turns out not to be his real name.
Yeah, it's not Humongous, but that's what he goes by now. That's his. He's Humongous,
All right, good. So we're helping Humongous, and we're helping humanity.
And hating Jake Paul.
Humanity. Do you get that at all? Because that was because it's his best friend, Humanity. Yeah. So anybody raise your hand out there in YouTube land if you watched The Bachelorette. Did anyone watch The Bachelorette? Terry, you watched some of it, and then your mother told you the rest, which is just, which means that you have 3 more hours of your life than I do.
Okay, I can't. So my roomie and I were kind of watching it. She got me hooked into it on I just hate it so much, so I just keep making fun of it the whole entire time I watch it, but I love doing that.
I need to have a bachelorette
That's
party.
How I watch it.
This is how I'm going to have my bachelorette party, really is where there's another show on. That's what we're going to do. Because it's just so hard to make it through these 3-hour...
You can't watch by yourself.
Oh, no, you can't.
No,
you have to chitty-chat all the way through. That's the only way to survive.
It's the only way. It's so just and so I've been I was watching it a little bit before I came here, and here's my thing.
Okay.
Here's her thing.
Shut up, Ryan. Okay, so I think that Brian, who apparently
spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Turn down the volume if you haven't watched it yet. Spoiler alert, because I really want to give you a lot of time, because I was once listening to the show where they gave the secret and then said the word spoiler alert, and I was like, that's not
we
how
kind of
this
just
works.
did that though, low-key.
Wheezy will throw the thumbs up on the screen when it's clear.
All right, so we're going to talk about who won The Bachelorette. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, so Brian, I just think I called it a couple weeks ago. I think he is the fakest human, not fakest human on the planet, but just fakest in this whole entire television thing. He says all these things just how somebody would say it in a movie, and it's a script and blah blah blah. And I just I see right through him.
You mean almost like they'd say it in a TV show?
Yeah, in a TV show.
Like the one he's on?
Yes, like the one he's on. Shut up! You know what I mean? It's supposed to be reality, but we all know reality is fake. But he's such the guy who's looks genuine, but is fake as F.
All right, I have a question. What is so confusing about Peter saying to a pretty lady, I really am falling in love with you, but I'm not ready to propose after
this a normal
6-week reality show experience that we just had. Why is he so judged by her?
Because he went on a show where it's a normal guy, and normal guys don't go on The Bachelorette.
Exactly.
And the expectation is that when this show is over, you'll propose if you win. So
but that's the fairy tale. And so she chose the guy that was willing to do the fairy tale thing, and,
But he's
and
so
life
fake,
is
they're
not a
not
fairy
gonna be
tale.
together. They're not going to be together.
No.
The third guy, what's his name that
Eric.
she got rid of? Eric was the homie, dude. He was so genuine in everything that he was saying to her, like the way that like he was done with it. Like you could tell his feelings were crushed. He was like, oh, and then like
if she married Eric, they would have been divorced in 2 months.
No, they would not have.
As she would be with any other person that she's going to end up with.
No, I think Eric. Well, okay, no, I think Eric was he was the one that loved her the most and was actually genuine and was like, you wanted her to be with that guy. He was the most genuine. The way that he what he said, he's like, I'm thankful for like what happened. Da, da, da. Like he was just
A real guy.
He was the most skilled liar.
no, okay, maybe, but I'm just saying like he could
We
not
love
tell.
Eric. Eric or Peter would have been great, but I agree, Brian. I'm not feeling this
They're
at all.
gonna get divorced. Like you're
And
stupid.
Rachel, I really love you, and I want you to be happy, but you chose the fairy tale. Fairy tale's not life.
Should have
All
gone
right.
with Kevin Durant.
That's right.
What?
I don't know what
Her
that
and Kevin
means.
Durant used to date.
I don't know what that means,
But
but
isn't Kevin Durant
anyone-
married to a female celebrity, or is he still single?
I'm pretty sure he's still single.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Kevin Durant.
But
hit
we
me
have
up.
more important
He will
news to
not.
discuss. Not more important than the Bachelorette, but additional important news to discuss, and that's that Jake Paul.
Is
He's
the
got
worst.
like he's like a giant
Paulers.
shovel, and he just keeps digging. He's just very busy digging.
Dick,
And so I guess this week he released this is his version of an apology, and I
It's
guess
not more so of an apology. It's him like trying to be like that rapper, and he's just like, "Oh, I'm coming back at you with like real
so
shit."
this
and
is
it's not
now
real
that
shit.
now that he's been in the news, he wants to come out and say like, here from my perspective, I'm not just the neighbor who starts mattresses on fire. I have more to offer than that. Roll the videotape.
Ugh. The fuck? Just go away. This crap. This
As
they'll
Tara
play on
knows. See, when this is over, as Tara knows, I've got a whole list of problems.
Oh my god, yeah. Really? Yeah. Ooh. Oh. Bitch.
You see
Your head and
The news. That it. So you are.
here's a guy who gives me any credit for washing dishes. Yeah, because you smashed them.
well, okay.
and that's a bad thing. And all the good things that you do don't erase the bad thing. It's separate things.
That's one thing.
Ryan.
Okay, so I'm sorry, but this pisses me off. So that's one thing. Okay,
Okay.
then the next part is like he's like, okay, I'm asking for forgiveness. You have to stop being a piece of crap before you can ask people to forgive you for being a piece of crap. Like whatever you're doing wrong, you have to stop before people can forgive you for it. Also, like as far as the video is concerned, he tries to do this whole like, oh, I'm just a small kid from Ohio. Like there's just so much to handle. Okay, well, if you're from Ohio and you live in LA now, why are you wearing a Giants jersey? Okay, that's like maybe the first part. And then the video starts off with him paying and checking out in the grocery store, and then it goes to him shopping, which really bothers me. Like the first scene,
continuity.
right? The first scene, he's got his stuff on the conveyor belt, and then
Right.
he's shopping, and then he wanted to pick a car, so he was like the minivan style Tesla. Like I'm so confused by this whole thing, and it reminds me all of this Chris Rock stand-up sketch, where he just pretty much says you don't get credit for the things you're supposed to do, like, and you shouldn't expect credit for what you're supposed to do.
Snappity snap.
So, it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, if someone writes you an email saying they're going to kill themselves, you should tell them not to, because if you don't, you're a horrible person. It's like, it doesn't, why would that be
And
news?
if Make-A-Wish writes to you and says, hey, can our kid spend the day with you? Yes,
You should
she
say
can.
yes. You're supposed
and
to
your
say yes.
reward is her smile.
And if you say no, you're a terrible person. Like, you don't get in the can you imagine he would be in the news if he had said no to her. Jake Paul says no to Make-A-Wish Foundation. That's news, right? So I don't think he gets like what goes into being news. Like when you do what's expected, that's not news. It's when you are a terrible person like, and this whole culture of like, they don't want me to succeed. No one cares enough to not want you to succeed. People just don't want you to be terrible, which you are.
Right.
Like, that's okay. And rant.
Whoa!
Good job, Ryan. Good job. I think you've covered it. Even like, the Tesla, you got it all in there. That was really good. Any thoughts, Josh?
I don't think he was allowed to film in a grocery store.
Well, they probably got permission.
So
I mean,
They probably didn't.
Even if he got permission from the owner of the store, all of those brands he did not get permission from.
Wow.
oh, I see what you're saying.
So
We didn't have permission to show his
YouTube
video
alert.
on our video. So
we can't talk.
one of
more
my
on this.
one of my favorite like product things is like in the music video for Crank That by Soulja Boy, he wears like a bunch of Superman gear. And it's like huge. It's like on his chest, but they blur the whole thing out because he doesn't have the rights to it. So there's just this giant blur in his chest for like the whole video.
No freaking
And it's
way.
like they did.
I have
Why
not
couldn't you just
seen that
maybe
video.
not put that in the
And wear a
video?
different
Like,
video shirt or
exactly. It's a great music
all right,
video
so
too, by the way.
but Tara, you are inspired by some YouTubers, correct?
Oh my god, yes.
So-
They're so amazing.
Tell us.
Okay, so a while ago, like almost like a year ago, I started following this like Instagram account. Instagram account called Forever and Foreva, and it's these like two little girls like dressed up as models, and they're the cutest little things ever. And then I started figuring out like who the mom was of the one blonde, and it was just woman, and it was, like just believes it's her.
Okay.
And so then like I didn't like totally keep up with them, but then I saw finally later on that she is proposing, or no. Whoa, hold on. I'm losing my train of thought right now.
Cole was going to propose to.
Way that they got together. Daughter, like, and it is can see the 20, and
Wow.
and he's just to, and it's just like a family.
Yesterday and just didn't.
Mm. That you sent us because of copyright, because there were a lot of songs in.
Well, which one did you pick? I want to see.
I don't
wanna
want
see
my
which one did you
account
pick.
to get flagged.
That's okay. That's
All
okay.
right, Thomas.
Aw, I haven't seen this one.
What's up, guys? It's start getting
He
blurrier
looks-
and blurrier,
No, he doesn't look
as you
like
can
him.
see.
He looks
And
like
it's
that.
so humid
She's
here. We're gonna vlog.
He needs a haircut.
Wow. Wow, that's my honeymoon phase. And what they are is they're years that created craters, and then water gathered in them. It's like a giant cave.
Yeah. Oh, I wish you got a daughter.
Thomas.
With shower.
God, if Savannah and Cole, like, can we double date, please?
Older than 20.
18.
He's
Not
only.
like-
looks young.
He doesn't
Yeah.
look.
Just the
18
hair.
either.
He's the
does.
one. That's
So
how he's
somehow
famous
with her,
from
he's
that.
managed actually to take a step down. Like,
Oh.
Wow.
right? I'm
He
just saying.
wasn't
I hope they're
dating
not on the
Selena. It
phone.
was
He's
a
like the
whole
only
thing.
person on earth.
Oh my
He's the
God.
only person on earth who could like date someone that pretty and be like,
He didn't date Selena. He like
He went
it
on
was
a
like
date
this
with
whole
her.
fan thing. Okay, but like,
I'm just saying.
All right, let's see if we have a
Theory
caller
of
before we
relativity.
jump into the next question.
yeah.
'Cause
Do we
it-
have a we have a caller?
Surprise.
Hello. Thanks for calling Journals Out Loud. Who's this?
Hunter.
Hunter. You're becoming a regular habit.
I love it.
Do you want to talk to your girl, Tara?
Yeah.
You got a question?
What's up?
Mm-hmm.
What's your
My
question?
question was, what is the awesomest thing that you've done so far this summer?
The awesomest
She has a
thing
lot to
I've
choose
done
from.
so far this
Mostly
summer.
being on this show, I think, right?
Yeah, like I mean, honestly, the awesomest thing I would have to say is you calling in the first time while I'm on the show, because that was my first caller on this show. That made me
Snaps.
feel freaking awesome. I hope
Snaps.
that makes you feel awesome. And yeah,
Yeah.
gotta say, yeah, that's the most awesomest thing so far this summer. Yeah.
And Backstreet Boys.
Thank
Oh,
you.
and Backstreet Boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for calling, Hunter. You're our favorite listener so far tonight.
All right.
We love you. All right, we're going to jump into questions real quick. Tara, have you
Yes.
got a script?
I do.
Okay.
Oh, so I'm gonna do the
Yeah.
first question. All right.
Mhm.
I'm in high school. And I really, really, really like this guy. I put more reallys in there. But I have anxiety, and every time this happens, I shut people out and I go into ghost mode. How do I talk to a guy and not feel this way? What are some topics we could talk about?
Justin Bieber conspiracy theories.
Oh,
What else?
no, we're not getting into that. Absolutely no. How do you talk to a guy and not feel this way? Well, you're always going to feel that way until
but
you
like,
somehow get.
What are some topics
until
that
you get out of it, until
No,
you
I
become
think-
comfortable.
I think that this person doesn't understand that when you like someone, that anxiety you feel is the butterflies people talk about when you like someone. Like they're not understanding
yeah.
that that's a good thing. It's uncomfortable. It's not easy to like deal with because it makes it hard to act yourself. That's why people blush. That's why people say dumb things and fumble over themselves. But like, I'm pretty sure that that's pretty standard when you're when you actually like someone to feel uncomfortable.
Okay,
I never
so
thought of it like
so
that.
here's the question for you guys. So I know that if you're talking to someone you like, or if you're on stage talking publicly, you lose like 50 IQ points.
No.
It's because like the blood just rushes your head and you become like a moron. Like you can't speak. So how can we load her up with topics so that even when she's like a deer in the headlights, she can say, so how's your mom like Pilates, or whatever.
Maybe stuff that you know he is interested in.
Yes.
So then he just starts a conversation and you can just be like, yeah, like I know
Sport.
about that too.
Listen, ask
Let him
questions.
talk,
Maybe.
nod and smile.
Yeah.
If you say like, oh, so what's it like to play second base, or something like that,
Yeah.
right?
Actually,
What
I
else?
like third base. I'm
So is it lame to say like, okay, guys, is it lame to say what's your favorite movie?
No.
No, but
So
it's
those are
just
good.
such like
Depends on the moment.
But that's the type of thing where someone's like, "Oh, what's your favorite this?" It's like, "Yeah, like I could name this, but it might change." And it's just kind of like you really have to think my favorite thing.
probably
like,
my response would be, I don't know.
Yeah, it's
And the
such an easy
conversation would end.
done conversation. That's what I was trying to get to.
So we
Yeah.
want to load her up with like at least 3 things that she could say when she's ghosting. So what are they?
What's your favorite thing about school?
No, it's
Maybe like
I
a
would
current
agree.
event
it's
or like something.
it's just not
going
that
on.
like
I think it's specific to that person. Like you gotta.
Yeah,
it's not a
that
I
formula.
can't
person.
give her questions.
And something that lights that person up and really able to talk
She
to
needs to
them,
do
and he can just keep
research.
talking. Like you want to.
Or-
Find out what he's into.
I think the first thing is the first instinct like for us giving advice is to say like find something he's interested in, ask him. Find something that you like talking about and tie it to him.
Yeah, but she's
Make
just going to
diff-
be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
and
You
then
have
won't
to be.
able
Oh my God, I've never spoken to a girl I'm interested in and been comfortable ever.
No.
It's never been that way. It just you have to deal with it. Like
Very
that's
I mean, yeah, I agree. Like, if you want to talk something about something and like talk to somebody, have something you're also comfortable talking about. But in a lot of conversations, if you're wanting to get the other person interested, it's you mostly want them talking like 20%
no. I think
20% you, 80%
I
them.
think you got to, of course,
So-
like find a tie that fits both of you. You know, like something that can tie you two together, not just like something only related to you that
Yeah,
they
you
are
just
not
sit there
interested.
like me talk about Once Upon a Time for like 5 hours. or
Right,
something.
exactly. Like it wouldn't work if the other person wasn't interested in it. But you have to, when you are confident, you'll be confident when you're talking about things that you care about, you're passionate about, and you're comfortable with. And if you try and put yourself in a situation talking about a topic you're not that sure of, you're certainly not going to feel less anxious. You'll probably feel more anxious. So that's the only part I want to like kind of reiterate is that yes, you should ask questions and drive the conversation somewhere that the other person's going to be inspired to talk a lot, and you can sit back and listen.
Can you
But-
say something like, "So what do you do when you're not at school?"
Yeah, I mean, that's
What are you up to? What are you up to lately?
No, that's not cool.
What's up?
You would have to do it in the right way. Like thinking back to high school, like who did I have a crush on? Like
Yes, who?
I had a crush on a couple people.
Names.
Well, like I mean, like Charles already knows. Like I had a crush on him. Like,
Charles,
we kinda,
call
like,
us
did it.
in. Call
No,
us
he's not going to.
88531.
Then we
girlfriend.
go and share it to our high school page.
Go ahead. I don't care. No, everyone knew that. Like I had a crush on him, and then like I had a crush on a guy named Zach. I had a crush. Yes.
Zach, call us 888.
No, absolutely not. I had a crush on a guy named Chicane. Like
I was gonna.
Awesome.
That's a better name than Charles and Zach. Like I'm just throwing that
okay,
out
so
there.
like
Chicane.
Tyreek. That was a good name. That's my favorite like
Tyreek's not
Tyreek, I
bad.
like
boy
that.
name.
Yeah.
That is. I have to say that is my favorite boy
Tyreek.
name.
Tara's firstborn will be named.
Well,
Tyreek.
I want to name my first like born baby boy Ty.
Oh, that's cute.
Aw.
Yeah,
Okay.
I want to do Ty.
As the full name.
So that's a
Yes.
good question.
spell it?
You ask your crush, like, what do you
T-Y.
want to name
Ty.
our baby?
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's go. I'm so down.
Icebreakers. Hashtag icebreakers.
I think too, to deal with anxiety, like Also, when you're ghosting, don't think about all the bad things that could happen when you talk to this person, because I know I could overthink it and get off
anybody
into
could really.
Everyone
that route. So
overthinks.
just
Yeah.
try to either just talk to him or not think about it when you're ghosting.
Also, perspective. Like, you always have to put yourself in other people's shoes. How many times has someone texted you, like, kind of genuinely interested in what you're up to, and you've been like, ugh, this person is the worst? Like, that never happens. Someone's, like, genuinely interested. You're at the very least flattered by their interest. Like, so you can't really come across that badly if you're being genuine.
Yeah.
Mm.
Because your friendship is a gift. It's not just that you need friends, it's that you are a friend. So there's that. Josh, would you read the next question, please?
I think I'm bisexual. I want to come out, but I'm worried might be a phase. So how can I tell if it's a phase or not? I really don't want to have to come out more than once.
I think so. Go on.
You
Go for
need
it.
to do your research, kind of like if you think you're bisexual, have you been with the other sex, so you really honestly know and you've experienced it to see if you liked it or not? Like, I would say first start with that, and if you have experienced it and you really like it, then probably you are.
Let's
So
assume
don't
that there's
overthink it.
no experiences, there's simply crushes.
Well, then you have to experience.
No, but you can gauge it on, do I feel excited by the presence of this person and this person and this
I
person?
don't.
You don't have to actually kiss someone to know whether
No,
or not
well,
you're attracted to both.
That's
True.
that's true. Like, you can just, you don't have to, like, you know when you're interested in your first crush before you do anything. You know, like, you're gonna that's what it is. Like, the first interest comes before anything else.
Mhm.
But I was gonna say that, like, I think a lot of people tend to say that this kind of stuff is fairly fluid, and some days or some months you might feel a little more one way and a little more the other way. So if you're not sure, I think the realistic answer is it's just not the right time to come out. I don't really know what to tell you. I don't have any experience in figuring that kind of stuff out, but I can tell you, if you're unsure of if it's the right time to come out, that in and of itself indicates to me it's not the right time, because you're not super confident that you are what you want to say you are. And you don't have to force yourself into that box. You can just play it by ear and let it take you where it takes you.
I'm always someone who advocates for just like being with whatever you're feeling rather than labeling it. So
Right, that's what I'm
I
saying.
think like exactly like along lines what you were saying. I don't think that you necessarily have to say you're bisexual, because I like that is a very particular like box, as you were saying, that could put you in one day and you don't feel that way. So it's like, I don't think you have to label it. I think just kind of feel what you're feeling, and it doesn't necessarily mean you're bisexual. Like for me in particular, I was always told, like in high school and middle school, that people were like, oh, you're gay, oh, you're gay. And I mean, I said no, and I couldn't, like Tara said, I couldn't like back it up really without an experience, because it was like, I'm saying no, but I've never had an experience. So when I went on audition once and they were like, kiss this guy, and I had to make out with this guy, I was like, nope, I know I'm not gay. But that was also because the experience there was to back it up.
Right.
So I know you said like gauge without an experience, but I do think that the experience is what's going to help like find that.
I think the
avenue.
experiences help for sure, but if they're 12 or 14 and they just simply haven't kissed anybody yet, I think it's fine to question and to wonder if you think that you may have feelings for the same sex, and you worry that, oh, I'm keeping this a secret, and so there's this thing looming over me that at some point I have to come out. You know, there's no obligation that you have to tell anybody what you're thinking or feeling until you're 18 or 20 and you want to bring home somebody of the same sex. And, you know, then it's like, oh, I better come out. So you're not keeping a secret from your friends or your family if you're not saying, I think I'm bisexual. You get to not say anything, because lots of people have same-sex feelings, and they could wind up marrying someone of the opposite sex, like you, and then you know, if you fall in love with one person, you're going to be loyal to that person, whether or not you find other people attractive who might be of your same sex. So I do think there's these spectrums, and that you don't owe anybody your story until it's time to say, like, oh, I think I'm in love with this person, or unless you know, like, it's ongoing. I continuously have crushes or romantic feelings towards same sex and opposite sex. It's going on and on and on. And now I'm 18 and I'm pretty sure I'm bisexual. Like, if you don't know for sure, I don't know that you're obligated to tell or announce, make a grand like coming out announcement.
You're never obligated to say.
Does that make any sense?
I feel like nowadays, though, it's become so like, it's different than, oh, I'm gay, oh, I'm bi. Like, I feel like now there's this thing that, like Josh was saying, like, love whoever you want to love type thing, because like I've always been like very straight, like never had like you have like girl crushes, but you never wanted to act on them. And then like recently this year, like someone dared me to kiss a girl, and I didn't find it gross, but I know I'm not bi and I don't want to be with a girl forever. Like, I know that for sure in my body, but I'm just like, I mean, like, I enjoyed making out with this girl because like it was a dare and it was funny and it was just like whatever. But like that could be something that this girl could be going through too. And it's just like, I feel it's such like a norm nowadays, because when I was younger, I was like, oh my God, I'm never going to kiss a girl for acting. I'm never going to do this. I'm never going to do that. I literally said those words. And now I'm over here like having that dare and I don't care. And it didn't like feel awkward or anything. So it's just like, I think nowadays, like, labeling really doesn't do anything. It's really all on your feelings and the experiences that you have. And like, you have to have experiences.
And I think, like you said, when you're 12, it's not, you're just kind of feeling things. So if you're going to come out, wait till you're older, when you're after you've had those experiences and you can say things. Because like for me, I mean, I'm
you don't want to come out twice.
I've only been in straight relationships, and I've had like, I had a kiss for like a acting thing. And then, I mean, I'm not going to lie. I mean, I'm like, have guy crushes, like, oh, he's cute or whatever. But
I feel like
I'm
a
never,
lot of guys actually do.
like,
have
I'm
They just don't
never
speak on it
someone
as
who's
much.
going to want to be with him in a romantic way.
Right.
But it's like, I visually will be like, ooh. But at the same time,
I would marry Demi Lovato though. Like, just saying,
Oh,
like,
so
I
would
would
I.
live a great life with her. No, but like, you're a guy. Like,
I
I'm
know,
a
that
girl.
was
I
the joke.
literally would be lesbian.
I think that's why we have the terms girl crushes and guy crushes, because I think same-sex crushes are really common, but I think maybe back in, and
just only 10 years ago, it
Yeah,
wasn't
like
as
there was
common
more-
as it is now.
it wasn't as common to declare it.
yeah.
Like, I
Yeah.
think we're becoming more open with everybody lives on a spectrum, whether it's your gender identity or your sexual preference. We all live on a spectrum. And so I just think there, as much as there's more of it portrayed in the media, so it's more of a known thing, it's still really scary when it's you and you think that it's your obligation to like tell your parents.
Remember that whole Kiki Palmer interview? She's just like, I'm just gonna love who I want to love. She didn't announce that she was
Right.
bi. She didn't announce that she was straight. She didn't announce anything. She's like, I'm just gonna love who I want to love, and that is the
remember.
norm right now.
And I love that. That's fantastic.
It's so great because then it doesn't matter. Like, you don't. Yeah.
And I just don't want anybody to kind of carry a weight of like, oh, is there something that I need to reveal? And then it's just kind of like out there in my future waiting until I cross that barrier, and then I can live a free, life where my most true self.
Just
like
live your life.
Yeah,
for
you don't
boo-boo.
have to make that announcement until you feel like, okay, I'm definitely crushing on both sides, and so I'm going to tell my mom or I'm going to tell my dad. But you can if your mom, if you think your parents are really open-minded and stuff, but you don't have to. And
I told my mom that on the phone what I just said now, and she's like, "No, you're not. Like, you're not gay." And I'm like, "No, I know. I'm just like letting you know. Like, I feel like this is like a norm now." And she's like, "It probably is, sweetie, because the way that you guys are growing up." I'm like, "Yeah."
Your mom is so cute.
It was so
love
weird
her.
to tell her, but she was just like, "Okay, whatever."
All right, Shierra, would you please read the next question?
Yes.
Shierra.
My mom recently went through my phone and saw that I had a boyfriend in the house one time. Now she doesn't want him around the house at all. Ever since then, our relationship has gone downhill, and I don't know if we should break up because my family doesn't improve. Does she mean her relationship with her mom is going downhill, or with the guy?
No,
The
the
guy.
guy.
I mean, with her
Because
phone.
the guy
With
was
her
getting
phone.
mad
She's
that he
breaking
can't
up with her
come over.
phone because her mother.
What? We're breaking
So-
up.
So she saw that he was in the house. That was basically.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing. I just think
That's
there's like
not
a
as
lapse.
awkward as what
High school.
happened to me.
There's a lapse in logic where you're saying, my mom saw he was here and now she doesn't want him here. Your mom didn't want him there ever. Now she
Yeah.
knows he was there, so she knows she has to enforce.
Maybe like in their
no,
house
no,
when they're alone.
Wait, let me explain. She doesn't want him around because she knows how much they mean to each other. Because he's been texting her a lot, I guess.
No. The way I totally read this is, wait, do you know that? Like,
And that
from,
their
from more
boyfriend-
context?
No, I just think that
'Cause the way
she
I read
saw
this-
that they're boyfriend girlfriend, and now she doesn't want him over.
No, I agree with Ryan.
The way I read this is they've been dating.
Yeah.
It didn't really
Surprise.
come up to the parents. That's whatever. It's not the concept of them dating. It's the fact that they're probably young, and the fact that they could be alone in a house together. Her parents aren't comfortable with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so her mom noticed through the text
That he was over.
He
that
was
he
over,
had been
and
over.
she took a problem to
Yeah.
it. But in my mind, she never wanted you to have a boyfriend over. She was just unaware what's happening, so she didn't have to speak up. So
Yeah.
it's not a new development now that she has this info that she wants it. She just has that she wants it that way. She just has to be clear about it. Honestly, yes, I think you should break up if you're young. If you're pretty much anywhere under your sophomore year of high school, this is my personal advice. I think you should break up because at that age, your family is much more important than your very, very young relationships. And I don't think you should stop talking to the person.
Well,
but I don't think you should also.
Okay.
This is my personal opinion. You're totally welcome to
I
disagree.
agree with the first half, not the second half.
Right? Yeah.
I agree
yeah.
with the first half.
So I just don't think there's any point in stressing yourself and stressing your family for, a guy who's your first boyfriend. That's all.
Go. What are you gonna say?
Okay, I was gonna say, well, okay. So in high school, I had a similar situation happen to me, but it was more or less like the mom knew I was coming over, and it was never like a secret that I was coming over to the house, especially when they weren't home. It was more or less like the parents like went through the phone and saw everything we had been texting each other.
Oh boy.
Snapchat.
Snapchat didn't exist yet, I don't think. I don't know. But at the end of the day, it was very, mom was like forbade us from talking to each other
Wow.
again and everything. And we ended up staying together, and it didn't end so well a couple years later. But at the same time, I don't think that if your family is saying something that you should just follow what they're saying just because, I mean, it's going to cause tension.
I see them being like really young. That's the thing. And
No,
It
I
can be
see
really young,
them-
but like family isn't more important like to everybody. Like I grew up in foster care. Family's not important at all.
right, which
like-
is why it's just
So
my opinion. But I think
that's-
family is
so
more
it's
important.
it's just more or less like if you want to do this, do it, but also don't have them over. Like respect your mom's wishes from this point forward.
Can
Like-
I just like touch on something? Like you said, your relationship is going downhill because he's not coming over anymore when they're not present. So I feel like he wants
Yeah,
you
that's
because you
weird.
guys are together alone in a house, and now that he can't get you alone in a house anymore, he's losing
Interesting.
interest.
I don't know about that. If
So,
you if
no,
you do, if,
I
No,
think
that
I mean,
makes
if you
sense.
take a guy in
I
a
agree.
relationship and
thank you.
This
You're
is-
fine.
imagine a relationship, let's say it has nothing to, because okay, whatever they're doing,
Uh-huh.
whether they're kissing or whatever,
Yep.
when they're alone, if you're dating a guy and all of a sudden you're like, you know what, you can't kiss me anymore, you can't touch me for the next month, like that's gonna hurt a relationship, whether it's because he can't come
Yes.
over or so yeah, it's totally reasonable for a guy to be interested in you because he can be with you.
Yes,
like,
and so that's why I feel like though you need to break up, because that's not like, if that's what he's interested in, he's not going to be excited to see you in school. He's like, hey, what's up? Well, I ain't
no,
gonna
but
kiss
Okay.
you
that's
later,
not
so
the
this is
only reason
also-
he's interested. Like it doesn't matter who I was dating. If I was dating a girl and she was just like, we have to be like platonic, but we're gonna call each other boyfriend and girlfriend, I'd be like, what? No, screw that. That's effectively
yeah,
what's
so
happening.
he's going away. Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
But there's nothing wrong with him
I
doing that.
also
I'm not saying
think
it's
that, like,
wrong. I
there's-
never once said it was wrong. I was just saying that is the reason why you should probably break up, because he's not going to be interested anymore.
I guess what I'm
because
saying
of
is I
that.
think that's every relationship. I don't think there's relationships that are not like that.
I don't know if it's
Okay.
every relationship. I
brain's
think
hurting now.
that sometimes like a guy can respect that. Okay, we're really young and pregnancy is a thing that happens. So let's like put
no,
the
but
brakes.
they're not even kissing. They're not even doing anything.
like let's pump the brakes a little bit. But I still really personality.
And young and in a long distance. Okay, what?
I hate long distance.
Why did
Ryan,
you go
isn't
to his
it-
house?
like if they were
But
if they're
Yes.
if
So-
they're 14 or 15, you don't think the guy should be willing to still be interested
He's not
in
going to. He's
So
a
here's the
child.
thing.
Wait,
like,
what was the question, Weezy? Let me just.
No, should the guy be willing to still be her boyfriend if that doesn't mean they're going to be alone in her bedroom? I think he should if he loves her.
That would be great.
Like, I
Yeah.
think, but I don't think if you're 14 or 15, you can really identify what
Yeah.
love is at that age. But additionally, what I'm trying to say is sexuality and like physical intimacy is a very important part of a relationship.
yes.
And so, of course, if you deprive
Ooh.
someone of that,
You don't think so, Easy?
At 15, I
no,
don't
no,
know
I'm
that
not saying
it
at
needs to
15.
be
But
just yet.
but here's what I'm
At
saying,
12.
Weezy. If you're
Yeah.
15, if you're 12, then it's not a real relationship.
Exactly.
That's how I see it.
But
So-
those are the things that parents panic
So
about.
if we're talking about a real relationship,
yeah.
then of course it's going to go downhill when you deprive someone of part of what's a real relationship.
Yes,
and if it's not
18 and
and
up.
if it's not a real relationship, break up.
I think
Honor your family's wishes and break up if it's not a real relationship.
I think after age 18, then they can both expect intimacy if they want intimacy. But under 18, I do think that you're a child, and so you need to be protected from yourself.
Man,
Yeah.
still
So
over
it's just-
18. People,
It's-
my ex's mom was like,
Is
No,
that like-
I hear
is
that. I hear that.
Is that like a direct
it's,
quote?
It's
And she did the
It's a
slow
direct
mic
quote.
fadeaway. It was all part of it. It was the fart sound.
it's just
slow mic
interesting
fadeaway.
sitting here and like the girls agreeing like this is what's happening, because like I was in this like same situation where the mom was like, no, you can't see each other and be together anymore, and it was just like it had nothing to do with that. Like you both went straight to the fact that the sexual stuff wasn't involved anymore, and it had like nothing to do with that in my relationship. It was literally the mom.
Aren't you a sweetie pie?
The mom was continuously just, you can't be together, like taking her phone at night now that, and like not letting us talk anymore. Like, so you don't know where the mom is in this situation, to be honest.
That she actually ruined your relationship effectively.
The mom
is what you're saying. Right.
literally, from what she's saying, the mom is getting in between, and like that does cause a huge rift because like when you're trying to talk and he's like, oh, my mom's about to take my phone for the night, it's 6 p.m.
Yeah, the boy can feel freaked out, like, oh, I'm pissing off grown-ups and I don't want to be that person.
It's pissing off the grown-up, as well as like when you used to have, besides going over, now you can't go over anymore, but then if the mom's starting to be controlling and like the communication between each other as well, then it's like slowly it's going to deteriorate. Like that's what happened with me. Like she would take the phone at 6 p.m. every night then. Like she would go through the phone every day. So it would be like the only time we would be able to talk, specifically in the way that Ryan's talking about, it was like would have been in person.
At
and it's
what
like at
age?
school.
How
like
old?
17. So
how do you feel about if she speaks
Shierra,
to
I
her
have
mom?
stories
What
for
if she
you.
speaks to her mom and says, "Can you tell me what your worst fear is so that I can help?"
No,
At this age,
At this age, no.
At the age I'm assuming she is. Listen, I mean, okay, and we've said this a million times. If we don't know your age, it's really hard to give great advice.
Yeah.
The best we can do, I'm assuming you're like 13 because I
I
don't.
say 14, 15.
Okay, sure, but I'm assuming you're like 13.
Okay.
So
Cool.
if you're 13, I don't think you're winning a logical battle with your parents. That's the
No.
bottom
I don't
line.
think
And
you're
if
gonna
I
win
was
a
a
logical
parent, I
battle
wouldn't
if
really
I'm
be
18.
interested in my 13-year-old's logic, because I think even if they're right, I'm an adult and I have more experience and yada yada, and that's my mindset. So I'm not really going to give you the time of the day. If that's my perspective of what would probably go down. I just think that if we're calling it a real relationship, and then you're taking out an important element of it, it's going to fail. And if it's not a real relationship and it's not an important element, then end the relationship.
We are
But you're-
beating
but
this
Ryan, you're
question
saying-
up.
Wait, Ryan, you're saying that an emotional attachment isn't a relationship?
I think
So
for
with-
most people, it's not an entire.
Yeah.
It's not all of a relationship.
at that age,
But if you're at that age, then I don't think you can.
You
then
need
that's like
to, the emotional part needs to be there,
Yeah.
and the physical part needs to be there. So it's great if you have emotional, but you need to make sure that physical is there. And if both aren't present at the same
Then
time,
you're just-
then that's
after
not a
after
relationship.
18, yes.
No,
But
but
I don't
people remember 14, 15, 16, 17-year-olds. They're just like, oh my God, but I want it to be like the movies, and I want this, and I want that, and I want to see what I see in all these celebrities and blah, blah, blah. They're not understanding that they are 14, 15 years old. That's what I thought. I was crying in my car saying like,
True.
I'm never going to get married
I
because
think-
no guys would like me. But like, that's not real life. Like, I have guys interested in me. I go out on dates. Like, I...
Do you?
No, yes, well...
Anyway.
Yeah,
So-
that's what I thought.
My
Go
love
ahead,
life,
Josh.
Right.
Go ahead, Josh.
no,
I think-
my love life is like interesting right now.
I think wrapping up the question, I think at the end of the day, only the viewer is going to know like why it's deteriorating, because they didn't really give a whole bunch of info about why. Like my stance is, if it's the mom, just tell the mom like whatever. If it's like what Tara and the other girls are saying, all the girls on this panel are saying, then yeah, leave him, because if that's what he's wanting, then that's probably not
Right,
going to work out.
Did
my-
I just get grouped in with all the girls in the panel?
Yeah.
My answer is communicate with your mom, communicate with the boy, find out what's up. If you're under 18, you shouldn't be sexually active. Sex makes babies. Be careful.
was
Protect
just-
yourself.
But Wheezy,
It was interesting.
real quick, because I think that's a very interesting topic.
Yeah. it is.
Chill out. I think it's a very interesting concept, the idea of 18, and from a legal perspective,
Yeah.
18 is 18. But
I'm the
legal,
grown-up.
well,
Right,
that's
but-
California, FYI. Other states are lower.
no,
so.
from a legal
I'm
perspective,
telling
18
you
is
what
18,
I
17
think.
is 17. I'm not saying with regards
I'm
to sex. I'm
saying-
just literally saying the age 18.
I'm saying old enough to know how to do safe sex.
But if you're 17, is that fine? And you know how to, how to
if
do safe sex?
if you've taken classes and gone to a gynecologist and you're double protected, whatever. I'm
Okay.
just
They
saying the
make
reason
freshmen
kids
at my
get
high school do
pregnant
it.
is because not only are kids new at sex, they're new at protecting themselves from everything that can go wrong when you have sex. It's not for kids.
Right. No, I just am trying to get at the idea that, yes, when you're 18, you're 18, and by law, like if you're a state, you have to you have to draw the line somewhere. But from my perspective, it should be when you're mature, which for some people is when they're 27, and for some
Yeah.
people it's when they're
Or
16.
13.
You know, That's what I'm saying.
No.
I went to the other
Not
side
for
with this.
sex.
Sure.
Not
No.
13. At least I say at least 16 if it's going to be under 18. At least hold for 16. But I know
Yeah.
I mean,
so many guys who lost their virginity at 14, and I'm like,
16 is
damn.
like most states. If they're lower than 18, it's 16. But there are a few that are like 14.
But the point I'm making is just that it's about maturity.
Yeah.
And this, from a legal perspective, as a state, you have to draw a line where like you assume maturity is gonna where people are gonna mature. But like from a realistic perspective, like that's what. From a realistic perspective, that's like it's really about where people actually develop and.
Well, there
ready.
are states, Josh, where you're talking about where you can legally have sex younger, and do you know what happens when someone gets pregnant? The grown-ups make them get
trouble.
married.
Oh yeah.
There's also
In
states
lots
where
of states,
you get married at 14.
You have to get
with parental
married if you
consent.
get pregnant, and then there goes the rest of your life. So what I'm saying is,
I'm
like,
not saying do
you
it
know,
at 14.
sex,
I just
sex is a loaded weapon. You want to be careful. That's what your mother's worried about. Just talk to her about it so that you can understand what your boundaries are and what relationships you can be in that she's comfortable with and that you're comfortable with in terms of your safety. Because a guy is really interested in what he's interested in, and no one knows what could go wrong until it goes wrong. So just be careful, and let's move on to the next question.
I was gonna.
No more on this.
It was
Shierra.
something separate.
Next one. I don't
Brian,
care.
who hasn't read?
All right,
Pick a good one.
the next one.
Okay.
All my life, I've been the happy girl. But after I turned 13 a few months ago, I started to show other emotions. People could tell. This reminds me of Inside Out, where like you just
Oh
have
my
an
God!
emotion and like that's you. I started to show other emotions. People could tell if I was sad or angry or scared. I kept getting asked if I was okay and was actually yelled at to be happy again. Oh my goodness.
Whoa.
So I've gone back to being happy all day, but it's getting really hard to hide what I'm feeling. I can't go back to getting told I was bad for having other emotions, but I can't just pretend they're not there anymore. What do I do?
You're going through puberty.
Well,
Yeah.
sure, but with what they asked, not why is this happening, but what do I do?
Figure your life out.
That
No,
reminds
no,
me
I
of
think-
the sign.
Inside.
Have you seen the sign that says the beatings will continue until morale improves?
No, I've
No.
never heard of that.
So it's like, be happy.
I
you're
think that
scaring me.
if you've shown for everyone you know for 13 years a side of you that's joyous, happy, and smiles a lot, and people don't see that, they're going to be worried about you. And not everyone expresses their concern in the right way. Sometimes it's like, why aren't you happy? Be happy. Just smile. Like, and it comes out as this like attack to like be how you used to be, which really isn't fair to you. But generally speaking, I think it's out of concern. I don't think I've ever seen anyone legitimately get angry at someone else for like not being as happy as they once were.
Yeah.
It's probably from a place of concern, and you cannot you really the most unhealthy thing you can do
Is
is
pretend.
fake your emotions, bottle up your emotions. It will kill you from the inside out. I guarantee it.
So the problem here is that the way that a lot of 13-year-olds become suddenly unhappy is not just to become suddenly unhappy, but to become suddenly rude. And so that's when people can be less understanding. If the eye rolling and the door slamming and the stomping around starts, then people aren't sympathetic that, oh, she's going through a teenage thing. They're just like, what happened to our sweet girl? So if you're unhappy, just say, I'm feeling something and I need to talk about it. Don't be rude, because people are not understanding of the rude girl.
I don't think maybe at that age though she doesn't know that she's being rude, because I
right.
just know
You don't know.
Yeah,
You
like,
don't
she
realize
doesn't.
it.
So just like for you, like,
And that's why
girl,
I say
you're well, I think she's a little not a little intelligent, like
a
not trying to be mean.
lot. Yeah.
But I think you are intelligent because you're noticing that you're being different and you're acting differently and you don't understand it. It's natural. It's a really natural thing, and I think you'll be able to understand us saying that you're going through a phase, and it is that teenage phase, and that is why you are feeling this way. We all have gone through it, so I think you're bright enough to take that into consideration and just know that everything's going to be okay. But like what I think you should do, since you are bright, you should just talk it through, like Ryan said, like Weezy said, just talk everything through. Use your words. You used your words to write us a question, so just use your words to communicate, and people are going to appreciate that a lot. Boom.
And even when you're not feeling happy, you can still be nice. You can still smile at your mom if she brings you something to eat. You can say thank you.
It takes
Just
practice,
stay
but it's a
aware.
great, it's probably one of the best skills you can develop.
Exactly.
It takes. I mean, I'm not there yet, but
Like what-
most people I know aren't.
You're
Takes a
getting
lot of
there,
time.
Ryan. You're pretty good. And like what I like to say is, whatever you need, give it away. So if you need kindness and understanding, be kind and understanding. Look at your younger sibling and just say, "Are you okay? Is everything cool?" Like, because that's when people will ask how you're doing, is after you've shown an interest in how they're doing. Next question, please. Shierra? I don't know who. I can't remember.
Wait, what's the next question? Let me. I'll go next.
It's just
I like the next one.
Okay.
I don't. All right, we can go for it. I was just saying I think we should skip it, but go for it. Read it.
Oh, that one's
Shierra likes it. I just think it's a waste of
It's
time.
interesting.
But wait, where like the second?
The one about where she hacks my page.
Okay, sorry. Wait. Oh, my ex and I.
Yeah.
Okay, my ex and I broke up 2 months ago. She swore she didn't want anything to do with me, but she still hacks my page.
Okay,
Oh,
let me
this
just. This
so
is just for on
stupid.
behalf of Jake. Someone knowing your password is not hacking. Okay, so that's just Jake would have said that if he was here.
Right. And so
that's the
change
first
your
part.
password.
Change your password. Why? Because she still has some semblance of an emotional connection to you. End of story. Like sorry, I don't mean to say that in like such a aggressive way, but it's like there's really not
because
any question.
The opposite of love is indifference. It's not hate.
Right. Yeah, and
Yeah,
she's
she's
not
still
indifferent.
It's more of
Not
a,
interested
it's like
in you.
obsession almost, though, when someone like goes into other.
But is he
people's-
feeding off of it?
But it could be. I mean, I think that like what Ryan said is a valid point. Like the person could have the password, but at the same time, if they know the security questions, other things, they don't have to have the password. They could change.
This
the
girl has the
password.
password.
Like
You can change the security questions. You can change. Like,
yeah, you
this
could
girl-
change the security questions,
This
but
girl
I
is
know
just
for a fact
crazy.
I have a friend who didn't know the password and went through the security questions, changed the password, and got into the Facebook.
Okay, but
So
maybe we're
like,
not.
I'm just like this. It doesn't have to be to have the password.
but you can avoid her getting in easily.
Yeah, no, you can. I full wholeheartedly agree with that. You can avoid it. So just friggin' change your password. And so what if she's still doing it? She's your ex. Get over it. Like,
Don't entertain drama.
Yeah, just chill. Like,
Just
it's,
move
X
on
is
and
an X
ignore.
for a reason. Done.
Yeah.
Next question.
Next question.
Oh, you have it. No.
Ooh, me?
What is it?
Go ahead.
No one said who was reading.
I'll take it.
Okay, Ryan, go.
I've
Can I have the script? Josh, go for it.
I have found myself looking for my ex-girlfriend on different apps like Whisper. Oh, you can't find anybody on Whisper. And I'm trying, and I'm tired of doing
Did you
it.
notice he whispered while he talked about Whisper?
Isn't the point of Whisper that it's anonymous?
Yeah, that's why I was like, you can't find anybody on Whisper. And I'm tired of doing it. I can't help it, and I can't seem to enjoy just having an app without looking for her. What do I do?
This is just the opposite of the other question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Just
mean,
chill.
Time heals all
Whisper
wounds.
Whisper is not the app to go to. If you're trying to
No,
find
but we're
somebody.
not. Don't
No, but
try
real
and-
talk, if you are trying, like Whisper's a terrible choice.
Okay, but, like, we're not
No.
trying. We shouldn't be trying.
No, but what he's really asking is, how do I deny my impulses? Like, how
just
do I have fun in the
time
world
to-
without?
You have to listen to the okay. So, and the way you know it's an impulse, you the reason you wrote us a question is because you hear that voice in your head, your conscience saying, "Don't do it," and you do it anyway. The only thing you can do is just allow that voice to win. That's it. It's that simple, and that process is different for everyone. You will hear yourself tell yourself not to do it. Don't look up her name, and you do it. Just don't do it. Like I know you wish there was a magic wand, but every single person has a different way that they have to allow themselves to listen to their conscience, and that's the journey.
You're not going to
honestly
see
takes
anything.
There's
That,
two
time.
little
you're not going to
voices.
see anything
Yeah.
that makes you feel better. So you're only going to see things that make you feel worse. And so I would say start counting your clean days. Like, how many days can you go without doing this?
establishment
That's
has gone
actually
And
blank
count
days
your
without
clean
an
days,
accident.
and then you're going to get to a day where you stop counting because you stop caring about this person. And that's what you need to do. You need to put some time and space between you and her. And the only way to do it is start counting your clean days. How many days can you go without checking on this girl? That's my advice. Tara, what were you going to say?
I don't know if I was gonna say anything else, but it's just kind of similar because when I broke up with my ex, it took a while to get over it, and I said I was over it, like I wholeheartedly thought I was, but then there are those moments where you're just like not over like the experience and everything, and I'm still not. Like, I mean, I was with someone for 4 years, you know, I lived with them, thought we were gonna get married, everything. So it's just like you're probably not at that level as intense as mine, but like I still think about it from now, like from time to time. That's the proper thing to say.
Yeah.
Because it's just like it's something that happened in your life, and it now it's different, and that's something that you have to get used to. And I think that, like, honestly, like all of our advice is good, but time, whoever shouted out first, I think Ryan did, or Josh, I can't remember who.
Just
I
gonna-
think time. Yeah, like you
But
said.
it really is. It's you just have to like let it go because it was something that happened in your life and it's not there anymore, and it's just gonna take time to really just like forget about that.
And then it gets
Well, not
replaced.
forget,
It gets
but-
replaced with other people and things.
Yes, it
I
does.
think
Like
like
space gets filled up.
once you're past the obsession part, like keep looking up. It's okay to look it up every now and then too. It's okay to
I
be
don't
curious.
know.
I know, but it's okay to be curious.
Can't.
Like, this past week I ended up going to a wedding back at home when I was back home in Michigan, and my ex was at the wedding. So it
Ew.
was kind of interesting because I was at the table. no one showed up to my table, so it was just me and my current girlfriend at my table, and then the next table over was my ex, and then a bunch of other people.
Mm-hmm.
And so it
Was
was
she by
like-
herself?
She wasn't by herself. She was by herself at the wedding, but she
Yeah.
wasn't like by herself at the table.
But I mean, like, was she single?
I think she is.
So you showed up
I
with
don't
your
know.
girlfriend and she's.
I ended up-
Yeah.
I ended up looking her up after that, but like it's just because it's okay to look it up. Like it doesn't.
Yeah,
I'm
but not
obsessing over it.
obsessively.
Yeah, I just looked it up, and I mean most of the stuff she posts about is just like her being upset about life. But
Sounds
so-
like you came out on top.
I guess they were. So it was just there will be a day that you get to a point where you don't look it up anymore, and then it's okay to look it up every now and then also, like it's okay. You'll know the day when it comes, because I just was like, oh, it's been 3 weeks. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, whatever.
Exactly. All right. Next question, Josh.
Again. Okay.
No, Shierra.
Shierra. Honestly, I don't
Oh my
think
God,
Shierra.
Josh,
Oh my God. Just frisbee whipped a script at Shierra.
That's like not even easy to do if you try.
Okay.
I wasn't trying.
I know that's what's impressive.
I'm entering high school this year! Exclamation. Do you guys have some tips?
People are gonna be mean to you.
Yeah, kids.
Way
are
less mean than in middle school.
Be yourself. Dress however you
No.
want. And
Yes.
Don't give a.
Be maybe.
Wait,
No,
wait.
BS.
Okay, who
What?
here had an easier time in high school than they did in middle school?
Oh, high school was like the easiest time of my life.
No, middle
Wait.
school was
I-
so.
Yeah,
Freaking
so
middle
it's
school
going
is
to
so
be
much drama.
So
it's going to
yeah.
be better than middle school. But tips for high school. Tips for high school. Who has them?
Be friends with kids in like different grades, like not just
Oh,
your
yeah.
grade.
That's good. That's good.
That's
That's
really
huge.
good. You're cool.
Also,
You're cool.
like, no one will screw with you if someone older than you has your back. Like,
Oh, yeah.
you are sick.
Yeah, and be friends with different like types of people, because there's types.
I
Like,
honestly
don't try
no-
to be in one.
No, but honestly, like you might want to try and be in one group too, because then you always have people. I was the person that had different friends in different groups, but they wouldn't hang out with me outside because all of their groups were so group oriented, and I wasn't. So I would constantly go to the bathroom and call my mom throughout lunch because I had no one to sit with because I wasn't a part of a full group.
Maybe.
Do not.
So,
Wait.
but times have changed, so maybe
Every school's different too, and every
yeah,
you're
grade,
older.
every grade of
That's
kids is different.
Very true.
Do not
Cause
neglect
drama.
your friends from middle school who have moved on to high school with you, because if you have a close friend from middle school who maybe isn't so cool in your mind, and you start neglecting them and talking to other people, and maybe you say something bad about them, like, oh, they're not really that cool, whatever it is, that is the best way to hurt someone who has been there for you for a long time, for new people who don't really matter that much. So
Just
seriously,
try to be
don't
a
neglect.
nice person.
I
Be a
think-
nice person.
Don't get in gossip. Try to refrain
Yeah.
from the gossip
Yeah.
and like the fighting and like all the crazy partying with like drugs and alcohol. Like honestly, stay away from that.
That
You're
stuff
gonna
was
think
not
us
really
later.
a high school thing for me.
Oh, that's a high school thing for me.
I
I got
mean,
peer
I wa-
pressured into drinking at 15.
Like
Oh,
my high
wow.
school like wasn't that crazy, again most are, but like mine
Yeah.
wasn't. So I just want to put that out there. Like maybe yours won't be, probably will be, maybe it won't.
All right,
I
and
would
I
just-
have this advice.
Furthering.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just furthering what they were saying.
Yeah.
I think also don't be attached to those middle school relationships.
Oh, for sure.
because
Yeah.
That is
you're
right.
going to be making new ones.
Yeah.
As well. Keep new friends, or make new friends. Keep the old. One is silver, the other gold. And also, this is really, really, really important.
Yes.
You're only a freshman, so you feel like, you maybe shouldn't, but join clubs and activities.
Yes.
There's so many more available than there ever were in middle school. And join your freshman year, because that's the best way to make friends with kids in different grades.
Yeah.
Is through, like, if you're
That's
good at
true.
music, join the band. If you're good at singing, join
Create an
choir.
identity.
Yeah, just find your
What?
people. Find
No.
your people, because that the doors open up to high school and it's like, oh my God, my people are here. Go find them. They could be in the art club. They could be in the French club. They could be in the Future Teachers of America. Join the newspaper, the yearbook. Find your people.
They're both giving me just this look for having
Join
said
what?
create an identity.
Oh, I thought you said join and join your identity. I was like,
what does that mean?
Maybe I did
You
say
did
that.
say join
Yeah, you
identity.
did.
I
Because
was
she's
like,
just saying join
what?
clubs, and I'm pretty sure I tried to say create your own identity.
No,
but
you said join
You
identity.
said
I was
join
like,
an
what is
identity.
asterisk create an identity.
Ryan, read the last question, please. I think we have time for it.
Because my dog's streaming and her foot's moving. It's really funny. It's the one all the way at the bottom.
Oh, really? Is the last one at the bottom?
Mhm.
Yeah.
There's a boy I really like, but he's only nice when we're alone. When there's other guys around, he's a total jerk, and I don't even think he likes me. What do I do? You call him out. Here's the thing. So,
No, no.
Okay, we're not gonna listen
Don't,
to the
because
same
they're
girl
high
aspect.
schoolers.
Okay, go.
Oh my God.
Go to the
stop.
guy.
No. Okay.
so as a
call
guy
next. I call
who
next.
has
As
been,
a guy,
as
yeah.
a guy who hasn't been in a situation where I sometimes find myself trying to appeal to other guys around me by like being kind of funny, and sometimes that means not being the nicest, most polite person. The biggest buzzkill on earth is someone saying, that's not funny. Like, you do this thing, you're waiting for a response, and if someone's just like, not cool, I don't like that, it just takes all the wind out of you. Literally, just call him out for it. The next time he's rude, you be like, dude, not cool. And everyone just kind of be like, what? Oh.
Yeah.
And it just feels really bad. And he'll stop doing it, like, because he doesn't want that bad feeling anymore.
He's just trying to get attention, and he doesn't know which way to turn. Yeah, go.
I
Guy
said I
first.
called next.
You did call.
Tara,
Tara,
remember that time when we were talking about something? You were like, "Oh, have you experienced this?" Then you can't talk about it. So because you're not a guy, Josh and I are going to take this question.
Okay. I don't know if I should talk now, but
Go ahead.
anyway, so I was saying, agreeing with Ryan, like, call him out, and then also, like, sometimes we just don't notice, like, when we're hanging out with guys, there's things that we say that are okay to say to our guy friends.
Oh my God,
not okay
it's
to
not
say to
okay, but
friends that are girls. So
Yeah.
it's also like he probably is just being himself in that setting, and you became one of the guys in that group.
Yeah.
So just
He doesn't
like
realize.
call
Just
him
remind
out.
him you're not one of the
and,
guys.
Like, yeah.
My friends and I kind of have a running joke that we could all ruin each other's lives if we just recorded each other for 1 minute when we hang out. in private.
Also, if he's nice to you alone, and depends on how he's being mean in the group, he probably likes you. So
You could also bring it up if he's being nice alone, just like, hey, dude, I didn't really like what you said the other day. Like, you can say that too. Okay, now Tara,
Here's my thing.
go on.
Yes, you guys are definitely right.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, for sure.
Yes, I agree with you guys. I agree with you guys. But the thing is that nice to you gay, like whatever I want, and it could be that like little
Guys
like,
don't play
play-a
games
stage.
like that.
Yes,
Yeah.
they fuck.
I don't think a
Yes,
guy.
they do.
Honestly, I don't
Okay.
think a guy spends any time being nice to a girl he doesn't at least like as a friend.
That's correct.
No,
I'm-
but they want to.
I mean, I don't want
They
to
might want to. They might want to get some, and
I
then
don't
they're
wanna
just like.
Maybe he's just
stereotype,
too
but we don't
shy
really play games.
I-
You know?
Like,
Guys don't
we're
care
very
enough,
like
generally
small.
Yes, they
Minded.
do. They just try and be nice when they're
Oh, do
alone
we?
with you to get
Do
something
you see
from
how
Are
I'm
you a
saying
guy?
we and you're saying they? do you hear that?
But I've experienced it, so I do
No,
know.
see, that's the thing. You've perceived something that's entirely not a game as a game. The same
It
way
is a game. I've had guy friends.
There's a
tell me
difference
it's a
between
freaking game.
being
What the hell are
nice
you
and being
talking about?
charming.
Let me
Like,
go call
there's-
up my guy friends right now. Like I can totally say
what
they've
I'm
done
saying,
this shit.
what I'm saying is that yes, everyone has intentions, and people are always going to do what they think is the best way for them to achieve their goal.
Uh-huh.
That's not a game. That's just human nature. People doing the best they can to get what they want. So what I'm saying is that the same way we perceive people doing things that are not meant to be mean as rude, the same way we perceive things as people hating us when they're just annoyed with us, whatever the case, this guy very well, as any other guy, may be kind of interested in you and has to show you he's a little more interested than you might actually be. That's not a game. That's just like reading the room and acting how you're supposed to act.
Ah, but that's such an assholey thing to
No,
do.
it's
He could
Come
just
on.
be,
Yes,
but Tara,
it
he's probably just
is.
really young.
Yeah, no.
Because
Yeah.
I'm pretty,
Because
because
the
you know
older
what,
you
Tara?
get-
Tara, you're saying it's an assholey thing to do because it's not entirely genuine. But I bet you $100 million that this girl, if she's not interested and doesn't like the game, has never been 100% genuine and said, "I don't like you. You don't have a chance with me." And I bet he would stop showing interest after that. So you can't really
Well,
say it's on him
but
for not
she
being genuine if
shouldn't.
she's not going to be genuine.
It's just
Okay,
people growing
yes,
up
but
and
this is
figuring each
like-
other out. Sure.
Yeah.
I think though that girls are like kind of the same. Like you're gonna act differently around like your friends who are girls versus
Mhm.
how you're gonna act around guys. I think they're not really specific about it. Like, is he being mean or is he just acting different because
She
he's
said
And
with
total
his
also,
guy
jerk.
and
friends?
also, when people are really, really young, the guys do not want to get teased by their guy friends if they're
Yeah.
caught liking a
Yeah.
girl. So, with that, let's think about it and come back with more next week. We love you. We are Journals Out Loud. Please subscribe. Please give it up to everyone in the booth. Matt, Drew, Thomas. We're Journals Out Loud. Subscribe and like us. We love you. Bye bye.